Get ready for all the highlights of Valley High School football. It's time for Action 4 Sports Sunday Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome once more to Sunday Sports Extra. Hard to believe, but we're getting ready for Week 9 of the Valley High School football season. And helping me to get ready this week, it's Action 4 Sports reporter Brendan Fitzgerald and the voice of 956sports.com and the 840 Fox Sports Game of the Week. It's Joe Bowling. Joe, thanks so much for joining Brendan and myself. Let's go ahead and start talking about 32-5A since that's what happened the latest. Last night, of course, Brownsville Pace at Brownsville Porter. And Brendan, you were just telling me this game was close early on in the first quarter, but then after the second quarter, Pace just blew up on Brownsville. And with that, the Pace has now swept every single Brownsville team excepting Brownsville veterans, so they get the city championship with a big hit right there. So Pace now in control and in the lead in District 32-5A. Take a look at the standings, and you see that Pace 7-1, 4-1 overall. And of course, the big game coming up in Week 10 will be San Benito and Pace, but right now San Benito and Pace tied right behind Weslaco. Los Fresnos also in with a win next week. San Benito in with a win next week. Pace in with a win next week. The Greyhounds and Vikings can both get in with a Hannah loss next week, but they are playing Lopez. Guys, let's talk a little bit about the way 32-5A is shaking out. Joe, let's start with you. Any surprises with what we've got right now with pretty much the playoffs set it?
Well, no real surprise as far as when you take a look at how this district was drawn up when we did our preseason picks. Pace has stood tall in the Brownsville area, and that's been the theme for the last couple of years. If you want to make the playoffs, run the table in Brownsville. You're pretty much got a guaranteed lock to get into the playoffs. Pace taking care of business, but Pace is better than you think as far as just beating Brownsville schools, and Los Fresnos better be careful this week.
Yeah, that's the big game this week is Los Fresnos and Pace, Brendan.
Yeah, I think that Pace is starting to kind of get their mojo back a little bit. Their starting running back was injured for a few weeks. They lost to San Benito. They had a couple of tough weeks where they had to gut one out against Hannah. Now I think you're starting to see the seniors lead this ball club down the stretch. I think they're ready for a run here.
Well, speaking of running, I mean, it is Los Fresnos who we're talking about coming up next, and that team does a lot of running. Although they took to the sky a couple of weeks ago in this game here that you see, but mostly known as a running team. Let's go ahead and talk about this game, make our picks. Joe, let's start with you. It is Pace at Los Fresnos.
Well, Los Fresnos, again, as you saw, was able to throw the football a little bit in that football game and prove that they can do it. Now, against Pace, I think this team is going to put up some points, my friends, and when you start putting up points against a team that runs the football, you could get in a lot of trouble real early, and this is what Los Fresnos could fall into a trap of. They can throw the ball, yes. Can they throw the ball when they have to throw the ball? And I think against Pace, they're going to have to throw the ball. Pace is going to score enough points. I think Pace is going to win this game.
Your thoughts?
I like Pace, too. I think that Dustin Hernandez is really starting to catch a stride as quarterback. He's got a great target in Adrian Alejandro. Those two hook up, and like Joe said, Pace is going to score some points. Los Fresnos, the problems that they have are when they get behind. If they ever have to throw the ball to try to catch up, things like that, they get in trouble, so I like Pace too.
Well, that is the story with Los Fresnos. If they're playing at home at Leo Aguilar Stadium, where they do have a home field advantage, one unlike most other teams in that district, and if they can get ahead, then they can probably win. But I've got it 3 for 3 for Pace winning this game as well in District 32-5A. Guys,